Well, the Fantastic Four's post-credit scene has been confirmed. In fact, the movie has released today, July 23rd, in some parts of the world, and the post-credit scene has now leaked online. Now, we're going to do a separate video breaking down the full post-credit scene in a couple of days when the movie is out for everybody, if you don't want the spoilers for the post-credit scene right now. But the post-credit scene does confirm one specific plot point that we have been hearing for Avengers Doomsday, and it seemingly points to a really big Avengers Doomsday leak being true. So this is your official spoiler warning for the Fantastic Four First Steps post-credit scene. Click away now if you don't want to see it. So, as it turns out, the leaks that we've talked about before on the channel were actually right. The post-credit scene is what we heard it was, minus a couple of details. One of those details is the post-credit scene actually takes place 4 years later. That's how it opens up. It says 4 years later, and we go to Sue and Franklin, and now Franklin is 4 years old. He's a baby in the Fantastic Four First Steps, and now he's a little grown. Of course, still a baby, but he can now talk and understand a lot more, obviously, than he could at 0 years old. So it says 4 years later, then it shows Sue and Franklin in the Baxter building. Sue is reading a book to Franklin. She says it pushed itself out and turned into a butterfly. And as she says butterfly, Franklin also says butterfly, so he is speaking. Then Sue says, "You want the other book, don't you?" And Franklin says, "Yeah." So she gets up and leaves Franklin on the couch to look for the book. She says, "I'll be back in a second, babe." She asks Kirby if he's seen the book. Kirby grabs a book and she says, "No, that's not it. He does love that one, but it's a different one." Then she finds the book and says that they're going for something a little bit more fun today. And as she starts to walk back, she gets very alert and very shocked, and she can tell that there is now somebody there next to Franklin. She moves her left hand and you can see her power start to activate. She is ready to fight. And as she comes around the corner, she can see that standing there is Dr. Doom. His mask is off and his left hand, and Franklin is actually touching his face. And that is the first post-credit scene. Now, the second post-credit scene isn't really anything. It's a cartoon. It's kind of a reference to something that happens in the movie, but it doesn't actually mean anything. It's kind of just for fun. And the purpose of this video right now is to talk about the Avengers Doomsday leak, because we've heard about this Fantastic Four post-credit scene before. We've actually been hearing about it for months now. So kudos to the insiders who got that right, because one thing seems to be pretty clear with this post-credit scene: Doom wants Franklin. Now, I have not heard anything about the report that said Sue Storm dies at the end of the Fantastic Four First Steps and Franklin brings her back to life. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. This kind of points to that probably happening, because that's how Doom would indeed know that Franklin is so powerful. However, Galactus and the Silver Surfer were able to sense how powerful Franklin is before he was even born. They revealed that in the trailers. Galactus wants Franklin. That's really the big plot of the movie. So it is possible Doom could also sense that power using his sorcery, or it's possible that the other leaks that we have heard are true. Sue dies and Franklin brings him back to life, and many people probably see that happen, Doom included. And this brings us into an Avengers Doomsday leak that we've heard. One part, with this post-credit scene being proven true now, proves a big part of the Doomsday plot leak, and that is Doom takes Franklin. And I also will add, in the footage, you don't really see Doom kind of just walk into the building. It definitely seems like he gets into the room via some type of teleportation. So I want to assume it's pretty similar to He Who Remains or Kang's teleportation device. Basically what we see that the TVA has and what we saw Reed Richards of the 838 universe and Doctor Strange of the Multiverse of Madness have. And we do know that the Fantastic Four are working on a way in the movie to either teleport their Earth or Galactus away, or both. It's funny because I haven't heard much spoilers for the actual movie, just the post-credit scene. But based on previous leaks that are seeming to be true, it seems like the Fantastic Four, their solution to defeating Galactus is to teleport Earth away, and then if that fails, teleport Galactus away. So teleportation is definitely going to be a thing. So I'm assuming that's how Doom gets into the Baxter building here. And I'm also assuming that that's how Doom leaves with Franklin. So that's part of the leak that is seemingly proven true now. And the other part is that he wants Franklin Richards to resurrect Wanda. And what's really interesting is that the director of the Fantastic Four First Steps, Matt Shakman, was also the director of WandaVision, the Disney Plus show. And of course, recently a ton of interviews have been happening for the Fantastic Four First Steps since the premiere was on Monday and now it's released in some parts of the world. Matt Shakman was asked if he believes the Scarlet Witch is really gone in the MCU, and he said, "Wanda's never gone." Now, he doesn't say that she's not dead, he says that she's never gone. Either way, he is definitely hinting at her coming back. So if the ending of the Fantastic Four is Sue dying and Franklin bringing her back, then it's very clear that Franklin does have the power to bring Wanda back, and that is what Doctor Doom might seek out to do. And Doctor Doom in the comics has been known to use Wanda's powers. And I have a theory that if Doom actually resurrects Wanda, she might not remember everything, which could potentially give us a Children's Crusade storyline from the comics where Wanda has amnesia and she's actually about to marry Doctor Doom. When her children find her, specifically Wiccan, he manages to help her regain her memories of everything. But even after that, even after the Avengers and the X-Men show up to try and save her and fight Doctor Doom, she sends them back. And still after remembering everything, she still wants to marry Doctor Doom. I'm wondering if we could get a pretty similar storyline in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. If Doom resurrects Wanda using Franklin, then Wanda is going to think Doom is possibly a good guy, especially if he says, "I brought you back to try to save the entire multiverse." On paper, that sounds really good. On paper, it sounds like Doom is a hero and almost a god to bring her back. But here's what the entire plot leak that we've heard before says, the one that involves Doom resurrecting Wanda and taking Franklin Richards, because this very well might be true. It says Doom travels to the universe where Monica Rambeau is trapped, aiming to kill that universe's anchor, Charles Xavier. He leads a direct assault on the X-Mansion using Sentinels. After witnessing the power of the Sentry, who is on the Earth alongside the Avengers, Doom decides to use him as a living energy source for his new world. Concept art I worked on for Avengers Secret Wars shows the Sentry in the Earth's core, functioning as its reactor, the one that leaked. And this report is coming from insider James Mack, who apparently has spoken to people who have seen the concept art, and that's who is speaking to him here reportedly. So someone on the design team is saying, this is part of the artwork that I worked on, Sentry as the core. Originally, we thought the concept art was showing us Johnny Storm, but it could be Sentry. According to this, it is, but it continues and says, Doom also needs the power of Wanda Maximoff. He learns that the Earth 616 version is the most powerful Scarlet Witch across all realities, and he plans to resurrect her using Franklin Richards. Because in the Fantastic Four First Steps, Sue dies, but Franklin brings her back with a touch. This ability becomes the key to Doom's plan to resurrect Wanda and use her. And finally, going to Loki is his last move. It then talks about the invincible Avengers team that we heard, stating the team includes Sam Wilson, Thor, Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi, Ant-Man, Jennifer Walters, and others. They are tasked with stopping an incursion between two worlds and rescuing Monica Rambeau. They later protect Loki at the Citadel after uncovering the TVA and Doctor Doom's plan. The Fantastic Four join the mission after Doom kidnaps Franklin Richards and takes him to Universe X. Meanwhile, John Walker, Ghost, and Red Guardian remain on Earth 616 to defend against an unknown invasion alongside the Thunderbolts, Wakanda, Talokan, and Wong sorcerers. Doom sends an army of Doombots and generals to eliminate Peter Parker, the last pillar of Earth 616. Visual concepts currently in development show Doom's ship as a colossal planet-like circular structure with his mask sculpted at the center. The storyline connects directly to Brand New Day, and yes, Peter Parker will be in Doomsday. So a decent amount of this, you could say, seems likely to happen due to what the post-credit scene is for the Fantastic Four First Steps. Doom is clearly going to kidnap Franklin, and it does seem like he probably revives Sue at the end of the movie. So if that is specifically why he wants Franklin to revive somebody, it would make sense that it would be the Scarlet Witch because of her powers. And I definitely think that it all ends at the TVA. If the multiverse has to go, Loki kind of has to go as well. At least he has to get off that throne and not be connected to the multiverse anymore, because he is physically keeping the multiverse alive. So a lot of this is probably true, perhaps maybe even all of it. And if that is true, Let me know what you think. Would this be something you would like to see in Avengers Doomsday or not? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news, rumors, or leaks. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.